Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Dr. Paul from Isbat University. This is our third session on how to do text data properly for data analysis while doing your PhD. So this video is made for the PhD scholars of Isbat University, who are the first cohorts of 2023, who are doing micro research with me. And anybody who is doing PhD, who wish to do PhD, I wish you all to attend this video. This video may be a lengthy one because of the reason these are lengthy lecture sessions. So let's start looking at what we can do with text data. In my previous session, I have talked to you about how we can use numerical data, how we can use categorical data, and how we can use the different data types for analysis. So today, we are going to speak about text data. And apart from that, what we are going to do today is that we are going to see a sample research in IT scenario using text data. So I'll talk about what are the analytics you have to use while working with text data. Then we will conclude the session with a sample research in IT using text data. So let's start. It is better you use a headset. I am using a good microphone so that the sound will be better than the previous time. And when you watch this video, kindly take a notebook, start writing. Because when you watch video to embrace what has been received in this session, it is good if you make notes on this. All right, so let's start the session. I already told you the different data types, what we are using in research. One, we discussed well about numerical data, which was in my previous session. Then we talked about categorical data, and we have seen sample research in both areas, how we are using it for doing a proper analytics while we do our research. So today, our focus is on text data. Again, we have to do two more data types. One is binary data, date and time data. It takes time. Let's take slowly and understand that. Before we start, I want to tell all researchers, PhD scholars, understanding the data type. If you understand the data type properly from your variables, it will help you to make a proper research design, as well as the way in which you have to collect the data, then do a proper analytics and how to do your testing of hypothesis. So it is good that you attend this session, understand text data in a better way. And I wish you all the best as you go through the session. I believe this session will help you to understand text data in a better way with a sample micro research. So already in my previous sessions, as I told you before, I have well explained numerical data and categorical data. Now, let's see on text data. First of all, understand text data is a qualitative, unstructured information. So when you mine the data, it will be unstructured. It gives you a qualitative information. So you as the researcher to convert that into structured information for your qualitative analytics. So when we use text data, it is normally it is made in natural language. It is expressed either in words, sentences, or paragraphs. So this is the way normally text data comes to you. And as I told you before, this information is in a natural language format because we are getting expressions, views from people. Now, these are received from interviews, surveys. We can get text data from documents, social media, and from written records. So these are the many ways you can get text data. Even from recordings, you can get text data. Nowadays, all the softwares are well equipped that when you speak, you get the text actually typed on. And this you can give for analytics. And why we use this text data? This is for interpretation and analysis to uncover patterns or themes and gives you insights. So whenever you get a text data, you have to make sure when you analyze it properly, when you proper do analysis, when you extract the data properly code it, it will give you a lot of insights. I believe after watching this session, you will love to involve a lot of text data in your research. So let's see what are the sources of text data in research. Yes, open-ended survey questions because we give opportunity for the respondent to express the views, express the feelings, and the comments made by the respondent, the inputs made by the respondent will give you actually emotional responses. And we can extract emotions. We can extract different kinds of qualitative notations from that open-ended survey questions. Other one, when you do interviews, when you do focus group discussions, you can get the transcripts. The transcripts itself will give you idea on how to work with the text data. So these focus group discussions, transcripts from interviews, as I told you before, this comes majorly as part of your qualitative data collection phase. Then field notes. You go to a field and you observe what all things. Then your observation records. I suggest all researchers, when you go to make field notes, when we want to make observational records, follow a structured way. So this structured way will help you to do your analysis properly. You have to use a specific way so that makes your analytics easy, because we can have a focused observation. Otherwise, we are going to observe everything. So we don't want to observe everything. So it is good if you make field notes and observational reports, then contents from social media posts, blogs, and various forums. So even what I speak, if you can record and you convert into text, again, you can do a textual analysis, isn't it? So it is like that. Then the documents, reports, or academic literature. So these are the major sources of text data in research. Now, let's see what are the different types of text data. Because as a researcher, you have to know the text data, what you get, what all ways it can be used, what all types of analysis you can use. So the first type is a qualitative text. Because in qualitative text, you can see a lot of emotions, you can see sentiments, satisfaction, so many things you can see, whether unsatisfied, satisfied, or, when you are approaching a respondent and try to get what you need from him, as it's going to help you a lot. Then, so we can say this is a descriptive, subjective data that explores opinions. Yes, opinions, experiences, or a certain phenomenon. So these all things that help you. Because if you look at the people who live on the seashore, and the tidal waves and the changes in sea height, a rise in variation of the sea level, how it is going to affect them. You can get their feelings. We can explore which all ways we can reduce it. So we can explore opinions. So it's a qualitative text. Example, interviews, transcripts, open-ended survey responses. This all gives a source for a qualitative text data. Now, is there any quantitative text data? Yes. So the next one is a quantitative text data. In quantitative text data, the data which we can convert into numerical data for statistical analysis. Now, we use Likert scales for analysis. Similarly, this text data, we can code them into numerical values. I'll show you with our micro research how we are going to do this one. So it is like frequency counts. So like when I speak, when we talk to people, we can use the number of times the word is repeated or the number of emotions is repeated. So we can find what is the emotional outcome, what is the sentiment of the respondent, what is the opinion of the respondent. So we can categorize that text data by contextualizing a specific text and analyzing it. So in AI, we use parsing, lexicon analysis, all these things to understand sentences, the words which are being said by the respondent. The third one is a structured text. What is a structured text? Because here we are permitting the respondent to use in a structured format. We are permitting the respondent to give response in a structured format, say predefined forms. Like if you look at certain web forms, they give you a specific space, specific number of words, specific words we have to use. So, these are predefined formats, and it will help us to do a easy analysis. The good thing with structured test, as a researcher, if you use a structured test, you will get the freedom of analysis. But I'm not sure whether this structured text will give so much freedom for a respondent to express all the views. If you look at some interviews, typically on politics on certain issues, the anchor always makes these people to talk in a specific area. They enforce us the respondent or the attendee, the people who are talking to talk in a certain specific area. If they deviate, they'll stop it. So you can think that the same way you are ensuring your respondent is responding to you. It's an open, but in a specific concise space with specific weights only. This is structured text. And there is another one which is unstructured. Yes, you can speak. You can respond openly, like it's a free form of text. You can type more, you can do a more. So this is how we use different types of text. Hope it is clear for you. Now let's move on. Where is this text data we use in research? Because it is important for us to know where we use text data. One is for qualitative research. Here we extract insights, patterns, trends that go beyond numerical. Because there is an extent only which you can use all scales and things to analyze things. But when we give the qualitative phase the freedom of speech to your respondent regarding what you're asking, then definitely it gives you a lot of insights than that structured closed-end questionnaire or closed-end data collection. So it is good for the qualitative research. So like it can be used in many, many areas. I'm just putting a few things on the screen. Media and communication studies, marketing, and consumer research. Very important because, how the customers, how your users feel about your product or the services, what you provide is very important. So marketing and consumer research, healthcare, legal research, education, social science, history, information technology, and the list keeps on going. Political science, business, organizational studies. So these are all the major areas in which we can use. If you look at in the various countries, how we do a predictive analysis of who is going to win, which party is going to win. Yes, we can mine a lot on text data. Even if you look at the social media and if you use web scraping, you can get the emotions of the voters to a particular party or to a politician or a party affiliation or to a particular candidate. So these all things are widely used in the world nowadays. I'm just telling you for an example. So how the text data is analyzed. So we have seen the different types of text data, which all fields we can use, which all kinds of analysis we can work with. Now we are going to see how text data is analyzed in research. One is content analysis. So what is content analysis? If you go through the content, if you pass through the content, you can find words, the presence of certain words, and you can understand the meanings, the relationship with the words, and you can get a theme. You can approach analysis of a text or a paragraph with our focus. That is called as the theme. And from that, we can extract a lot of data out, or we can get a meaningful analysis. So the first analysis is content analysis. So you approach the content with a theme, you understand the relationship, and that gives you content analysis. Next is thematic analysis. So first part, it is content. Second part, from the content itself, we can do a theme also. So you can approach with the theme, identify, analyze the patterns. So from that patterns, we can do a qualitative survey. As I told in my previous session, I was participating with an intercontinental research with one of the students in Northern Ireland, where the student want to study about a thematic analysis on international culture, the organizational culture, where we have people from multiple countries. If you look at Northern Ireland, you can see a lot of people from different countries, a lot of migrants. So how the Coca-Cola factory feels that organizational culture and climate and team building, everything when you have the presence of people, a workforce from multiple nations. So here what we have done, we have gone through the HR reports of the available reports of the company. Then we have gone through the the demographic scenario as well as the national scenario and the scenarios of the foreign nationals working in the country, as well as in the region, as well as within the company. So we focus the theme of organizational culture, how effective this presence of employees from multiple different countries is going to improve, or how it has changed the work scenario and the organizational culture of the company. So this that there is a theme for us. So we do interviews, we do a qualitative survey with the data which is available within the HR reports of the company as well as from the local council. So we collected data. That's a thematic analysis. The next one is a discourse. What is discourse? It is an open analysis where we when we speak, when you talk to the respondent and examine the language using in the social context and how this context constructs social realities. If you want to speak about poverty, if you want to speak about the safety at night of a particular city, if you want to see about the regulations on maintaining hygienic food that is being served in the food outlets and restaurants in a certain town. So, these all things you can take the feedback from the respondents. When you talk to them, it gives you, they will open up the things, certain situations, what they face. From that, you can understand that open analysis, open uh, context, what you get, you can do a lot of analysis. So these are the three things: content, thematic, as well as discourse analysis. These are the major things in which we use how to work with text data. Then there is another one is sentiment analysis. How to know the happiness, how your customers are happy. Is I missed my pointing device. How customers are happy. So from the emotional tone, you can understand that. So that is called as sentiment analysis. Then another one is natural language processing. See, it is why the natural language, it. So the area in which the text what you have received, we can do it classification, even we can do clustering, and you can understand the recognitions, various what all things have been represented. And from that, you can summarize your findings. Sometimes I tell you, when I work with my students, certain times, I copy the WhatsApp chat of the student and put in language models and try to see what is the extract of that communication. So it gives me, this is what the student is, because you don't have to time read all the things. So, the world is so good nowadays. It is not necessary like previous days when we do this textual data analysis. You make columns, chart, keywords, the repetition of the keywords, uh, putting the scores, then you combine them, then you do the analysis. There is no need for that. But nowadays, the systems are so good, intelligent, that it makes your life so easy. That is why I'm telling researchers, if you are IT enabled, if you are IT capable, if you are AI honest, life will be easy as a researcher. It is not the time at which we were doing research in 2007, 15 or 16 years. The world has so much transformed and it is so congenial, so helpful for researchers to move in a better, speedy way. So this is how we are using. I talked about 5 ways in which normally we use text data for analysis. Now, this is the more important thing. What all things I'm going to summarize you? I'm going to embrace you with a sample research in IT using text data. Why I said it is IT? Because I'm using Python language model, Python directories, Python libraries to work on this research. So the title of the study is Analyzing User Sentiments Towards AI Chatbots in Customer Service. So it is a text-based sentiment analysis study. Because nowadays, if you do WhatsApp to a organization or a business, you get a lot of end-to-end communication through WhatsApp, which are AI chatbots. So from these chatbots, how the users are feeling, how their satisfaction with the chat with the chatbot. So why we organization keep a chatbot? Save time, make accuracy, and engage the customer, because otherwise you also have to be in the chatbots all the time responding to the customer. So your chatbots will start working for you. If you look at, there are many chatbots that are available. So it's good. So how we are going to help? how the customer's perception about how they're satisfied with the chat. So this is an actionable research. This will help to improvise the chatbots and the areas in which the organization has to involve or interfere to do actual customer management through the chatbots. So this is the research background, because in this research, we are focusing on how users perceive and interact with these chatbots. Why we do it? To understand the user sentiment. From that, we can identify the key factors that influence user satisfaction. Because, when a customer, your user, chats with the chatbot, I'll tell an example. Nowadays, WhatsApp has its own chat. So my area, because I always want to pin my university's management group's WhatsApp group on the top. Then I have two PhD cohorts that also should be pinned on the top. So my idea, we can pin a message in the WhatsApp group. So I'm not so I don't have so much idea how I can pin a group on the top of my WhatsApp screen. So I asked the chat how I can do it. So it given me an option. So I tried that option. That option is not available. So I said it is not available on my phone. So it given me a second option. That what you do, you press on the group, then just swipe. You can see a pin button. Simple. Some of you know it very well. For me, and I was satisfied with that chat. So what I'm saying, so we have to identify the key factors that influence user satisfaction. So what is the outcome of the research? It provides valuable insights for improving chatbot functionality. So this is the background of the research. So I have a title for the research, and I told you the background of that. Now, this I'm not going to explain more, because in this one, I have my types of variables. I have independent variables, dependent variables. My variables, independent variables, are response time, accuracy, personalization, and user technical knowledge. It is very important, because if you are IT enabled, if you are good to go with all technologies, it is easy for the chatbot to interact, because you say the technical things. So the chatbot has to see whether this person is good with the technology, what the chatbot is going to speak. Otherwise, the chatbot has to systematically give. I always see at WhatsApp chatbot gives options. This is first option. Maybe your mobile operating system or the version of the WhatsApp, what you're doing. So, it helps me as a user to have an effective satisfaction when I do my chat with the AI chatbot for WhatsApp. Then my dependent variables, that is my sentiment. What is my sentiment? My overall sentiment, as I told you, I'm happy with the WhatsApp chatbot. So positive, neutral, negative, or sentiment score. So this is my dependent variable. And I have moderating variables, my previous, the user satisfaction platform type, which I'm using is the mobile or a website, Android or an iOS. So that's the other one. Control variables, because the type of chatbot, because chatbots also have their own types. One is for customer service, one is for technical support, one is for sales. I don't know, I'm not sure about an integrated one. I'll tell an example which I was working with the chatbot of Tata's Titan section, but I was not so convinced with that. I don't know. It may be my problem that I have not effectively communicated. So the control variables, as I told, the chatbot type, the industry, because that e-commerce, banking, service, medical, everything. Then the extraneous variables, which means that if I have a previous experience with the chatbot is good, I'm positive, isn't it? So I have a positive approach towards the chatbot. As I told you before, now I always have a positive approach towards the WhatsApp chatbot, because I have happy moments with that one. Then my otherwise, if I had a bad feeling, then even it produce good things also, my emotions, my extraneous thing is different. So I'm misled in that one. Now cultural factors. If you look at the global culture, ethnicities and things and countries, I'm not so knowledgeable about that. It's a good thought of study how, continent-wise, country-wise, or state-wise in a country, region-wise in a country, how people prefer to use these chatbots. Then demographic-wise, if you know the young generation, they always prefer to use chatbots. Me, at the age of 51, still I prefer to use the same thing. So, these all are part of that. So these are my variables. I don't want to speak much on that one, but my viewers will get an idea how you can make a research, isn't it? So my research objectives, well and fine, to assess the overall user sentiment towards AI chatbots in customer service. Because my purpose here is not to explain the research, but how to show you quickly how we can use these analytics using textual data. So I'm not going to speak much more on that one. My second objective is to identify the factors influencing positive and negative sentiments. The third one, to explore relationship between sentiment and user satisfaction with AI chatbot. So how I am getting these sentiments? I'm getting these sentiments from the charts, that is text data. So we are going to use text data for analysis. So these are my research objectives. If you want to work on this research, you can pause it, you can note it down, you can take it out, isn't it? Okay. Now the hypothesis. So people may think why I don't have the H notes. No, to make life easy, to give idea. My idea is not to teach you hypothesis here. My idea to quickly work on the hypothesis testing and how I am working with my textual data. So I make there is a positive relationship between positive sentiment and user satisfaction with chatbots. The second one, I go fast just because this is not our purpose. Our purpose is how we are using text data. Then the sentiment related to chatbot with response to time, accuracy, personalization significantly influence overall user sentiment. Because when I work with the OpenAI chatbots, when I say, hi, then definitely it'll ask me, it will respond to me, hi, Dr. Paul, how are you? How is your day? So what you're going to do today? It asks me such questions. We know it is a language model, but still that interface makes me happy, isn't it? So then the third one, the user's higher level of technical knowledge. Because I know when a chatbot, or if you're interacting with a chatbot and if you have high technical knowledge, the chatbot can work on that area. But just imagine the reverse way. You are a highly technical person. The chatbot works treats you as a normal person. You get bored. You say, why it is saying like this? Why it can say straight? That is why in technical things, the chatbots give the best option, the higher option first, then it gives second. And if you say I can't, then it gives you the third option. So this is how chatbots are integrated. So now let's see the step-by-step process. Step one, I'm using data collection. I'm not going to the field to collect data. What I use, I take the user reviews feedback, what is available from Google Play Store, App Store, and Trustpilot, and all these things that host AI chatbots based applications. So you're going to not going to the field, but you're going to digital interfaces to collect the data. Sorry if I go bit fast because I don't want people to stay on my video for a long time because this video's purpose is to share your knowledge what I have. And this is going to help you a lot, my PhD scholars. And if any other viewers outside who are watching, I believe these are going to help you. Then I'm going to take the customer service chat logs from companies they are willing to share with me. Because this is why I tell you, when you do research, you should have a stakeholder. Who is that stakeholder? You should do a research for somebody. So, it is easy for you to work well. And you as a researcher, you should be able to convince your stakeholder, this is what I'm doing. And this is actionable research. And this is the outcome what you're going to get. Very good. So that I'm doing the step one data collection and what is my data collection method? So I use web scraping technology. So people who don't know about web scraping, just understand you can mine textual data using the different libraries available in Python or like a Beautiful Soup or ScrapPy, and you can extract the data from large volume data. So that is the way I'm collecting the data. So I've done my data collection. Now, once you get the data, you have to do the pre-processing of the textual data. How I do it? One, it is called text cleaning because we don't want numbers, we don't want that hash at the rates because if you look at almost all things, we can see emojis. So we don't want to make any special characters, numbers, and unnecessary symbols. So we clean that one. Then we do tokenization. What is tokenization? That breaking the text into smaller units. With a long one, identify it make into words or sentences. Because this token we are again applying for your analysis to extract the sentiments. Then stop word removal. So like there are certain words that kind of is, there, that, etc. These all things that all we don't want to actually do an analysis. So we remove that stop words. Then what is next is called as stemming. In stemming, what do you do now? The active voices run. So that we make into a particular keyword. Particular word. Running can be converted to run. So we want to know what is the current status. So it is called as stemming or lemmatization. So it is a good research for IT people. All right, IT research scholars. So I done my data collection. I done the pre-processing of my textual data. Now the third one is sentiment analysis. So I'm going to extract sentiments. I'm going to extract sentiments. So what is the primary goal of this one? I classify the interactions. In this research, I classify them positive sentiment, negative sentiment, and neutral sentiment. So the three areas I'm going to classify. This is called as sentiment analysis. So for this, we are using lexicon-based methods because using a predefined dictionary, because there is a dictionary wader that is available in Python and assign sentiments and scores. So you don't worry about that one. I don't want you to go technically into this one, but you understand either you as an ICT researcher, it is good for ICT researchers, but if you are a social science researcher also, this is going to help you because we are working on text. The focus is on text, but since I take some time, I'm talking to you about, I think this session can give insight to some PhD scholars or someone want to become a PhD scholar or somebody a researcher to work on a certain research like this. Currently, we are working on this one. Okay. So then after that, we use machine learning models. So we can use logistic regression, support SVM machines, and to label and segment the data. So I don't want to go deep into that one. So I use machine learning models in which I do my sentiment analysis to give respective scores for each sentiments from each respondent based on the technical level capacity of the respondent. So see, we have done 3 steps now. Data collection, step 2, pre-processing of data, step 3, we have done sentiment analysis. Now we do the data analysis. Now we are going to do the data analysis. So in data analysis, I use descriptive statistics. Basically, the proportion, positive, neutral, everything. We use normally the descriptive statistics. So we can understand how many people are neutral, how many percentage are negative, how many percentage are. We get an overall. As I told you before, this descriptive statistics gives overall view of the respondents on the HR. Then I do a thematic analysis. That is another way I'm going to do because a thematic analysis based on how people feel about the accuracy of the chatbot, the response time of the chatbot, how to ease and use with the chatbot, and how it is personalizing you. As I told you before, the OpenAI chatbot greets me with my name, and certain things I don't have to say anything. It's know what I need. So, it works well. Sometimes I use the chatbot say, send a greeting evening bed message to my research scholar. So it makes that one. It knows the way I like. See, the world has changed a lot. Even text models can understand your sentiments and emotions. So then I do a positive theme. So how fast, how easy to use. Since I'm going with speed, in a speedy way. If you have a challenge, you can stop and listen again. You can understand. So these are the different kinds of data analysis. Descriptive statistic, that is basic thing. Thematic, so you can, based on a theme, you can do analysis. Then even another one, you can use a positive theme. So that is why in thematic, what I'm doing, fast response is of use negative theme. How feel bad about that chat. Yeah. So because our job, why we do this research, it's an actionable research to improve the chatbot, isn't it? So 4 steps are done. Collection, 4 steps are done. I don't want to say it again. The 5th step, hypothesis testing. I've said 3 hypotheses. Don't worry about my null and alternate. Just I'm saying 3 hypotheses I'm testing here. These are the 3 hypotheses that I've already talked to you. Now, how I do my testing. I'm doing the first hypothesis, a positive sentiment and user satisfaction. So for that, what I have to use, I'm using the sentiment scores. Then I'm using the user's reported satisfaction. So these are the 2 variables I have. So, I want to correlate the overall sentiment scores with the user reported satisfaction. Here, as a researcher, you should know what kind of test you're using. So I am using the Pearson's correlation coefficient test to strengthen the relationship between these 2 things. So from that, I can identify how they are related, isn't it? So I done with my first test. Then I'm continuing the factors that influencing sentiment. So here I have dependent variables. Sentiment, independent variable, as I told you, this is the major one I want to explain to you. Response time, accuracy, and personalization. So I can do a multiple regression analysis. I can do a multiple regression analysis. So, I have done my second test. Now, I'm going to talk about the technical knowledge and sentiment. Here, literally, I'm going to place the data so you know how it is done. Because my purpose of this test to test whether the statistical significance between the sentiments in different levels of technical knowledge. So, like the people with high and technical knowledge, people with medium technical knowledge, people with low technical knowledge, and how they feel about what is their sentiments in these three levels. So, I do an analysis of variance. So, I have three categories of respondents in my study. So the technical knowledge, low it is 1, medium 2, 3 high. So from this, so I'm converting them to data. See that I'm making into a data set. Then sentiments also I can convert because as I told you, we can do using lexical analysis and the different Python libraries available. You can extract the sentiments. So I got different scores here because for that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 respondents, I've got my 5 sentiments. And from that, I'm going to interpret and I am going to do the analysis. So see, I have used the text data and the text data is used to do analysis, create sentiment scores, and using that, I was able to go with my testing, my data analysis, and I can interpret my results. So the correlation analysis, what happened? Regression analysis, what was outcome? The ANOVA test, what is outcome? So this literally gives a clear idea how this chatbot can be effectively used. See, I have not explained you all the technicalities behind this research, but I have just given you how text data can be used for sentimental and thematic analysis to do a good research using the machine learning and the Python libraries. So using SVM machines, how we can do it. So we have done the 6 steps from collection to interpretation analysis. What is the next one? We have to conclude, isn't it? So the study what it has been reviewed. I'm not going to say that one, but you can read also. It is positive or negative as per my testing, and response time is a key factor. And users with higher technical knowledge need to be more critical, because they have more. As I told you, the interface, if it is able to understand the technical capacity, it is good. So it is better the chatbot can ask in this area, what is your level? Is that 1, 2, 3? So the respondent plays 1 for medium, or 1 for low, 2 for good, or like that. You can do it. Now, so I done all my 7 steps and conclude. What is the outcome? What is I'm going to give the organization of the chatbot developer? That is my recommendation. And so I give my response. So your research, it may be different because you're going to work with a different chatbot in a different industry, different country, different area, so and different service. So enhanced accuracy, personalization, targeted improvement. So you can, 3 areas what you want to give. So you have given your recommendation. So if you look at a quick recap, I talked to you about text data, types of text data, sources of text data, what are the ways in which we can do different kinds of analysis with text data. So then we worked with a sample research, analyzing user sentiments, and I told you how we can, all the eight steps, how we can do from data collection till we give the recommendation. So I believe this session has helped you how to do textual data for analysis. See, as a researcher, never think that only your quantitative data, what you're using different scales and tools are alone will substantiate your research. So it is good if your research has 2 areas of qualitative and quantitative phase, and if you can do a proper analysis, things will be better, life will be easy, and your research will be better. So thanks for watching this video. I believe we as a researcher, I am a researcher, you are a researcher. Researcher will change life when we have more and more understanding of what we are doing. So understanding data is very important for a researcher. It helps from the beginning till the end. And when we scale up our research, this session is going to help you. Thank you very much for watching. I love you all. And Dr. Paul signing off from Kampala. Thank you. So wish you a great day ahead. Thank you.